I ain't hungry. First, I always say hungry dogs run fast. I ain't hungry. I'm starving.
Hurd takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in. Touchdown. Jalen Hurd.
When that cage opens up again, our teeth are snarling. We're drooling. We're ready. We're hungry, ready to hunt again.
Dallas. We hate you. Race is snow. The Eagles train to go. The Eagles win.
And again, and again, and again.
It ain't about them. It's about us. We play up to our potential. Each and every one of us together. Nobody can beat us. I promise you.
What is up, my brews, my bird brews? We are back. It's another Speaking Birds. It's your boy Speaks. I'm here joined again with the boys, the fellas, John and Clayton. What up, guys?
What it is.
What's up? Good to be here.
Ooh, what it is. What it is. Man, it was a tough week for Eagles. Fall to Tampa Bay, 33-16. It was a hot one. And everyone's hot. It's a hot one. We'll kick it off. John, what do you got?
Oh man, just a disaster of a game. I mean, this is just I don't even know. Complete disaster. From the beginning, the team's not even really ready. I guess you could put it on Sirianni. They're cramping. They only started IVs the day before. Multiple people cramping, going out and through, and just not a whole lot of rotation. But I don't know. Yeah. Not a good game. Not a good game.
I heard Vinny Curry, they were talking about like hydrating and like getting ahead of the cramping. He said you got to start it like the week before. You really got to get on it.
Yeah, I know from playing a couple paintball tournaments a year in Florida that every time we go down there, it's hot as can be, and you got to really, really hydrate.
Yeah, that
was a disaster.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough. It was just a tough watch. I mean, it's a team in shambles. I mean, we can get down into it, but Clayton, any like initial thoughts?
I mean, just like you said, it was a rough watch. Effort was a major issue. A team that looked, completely unprepared to play. They looked like they didn't want to be there. Tampa looked like it wanted to be there. It was like watching two different animals on the field against each other. I mean, one team brought the pain, the other was just trying to get out of there.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to place blame. You got to put it on Sirianni. You got to put it on him. This when things aren't going well, it's we got to fix it. He takes blame, which I'm kind of when Sirianni started like first taking blame of everything that's going on, you're kind of like, hey, that's noble. I like that. That's a great characteristic. But now it's like, okay, great. He's taking blame. Okay, you're out of here. Like it's almost like, oh yeah, he's falling on the sword. That's great. And I'm not saying we're there yet. But yeah, it was atrocious. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's time possibly to move on from Sirianni. I know I've said this in the last 3 podcasts, but yeah, it's time. I mean, really, you got to think about like, what does the guy do? I mean, is he a leader of men, or is he just like? To me, he's like, somebody's dad owns a workplace, and the kid who goes to college and has nothing to do with this workplace comes back and takes a high a high job, and it's like everybody's like he tries to give orders, and then like everybody's just like, what the hell is this guy talking about? We ain't gonna listen to him. I feel like possibly he might have, this could be a hot take, but has he lost the team? I don't know what he does in the walkthroughs or the meetings. Like what does he do? I just don't even know anymore.
Yeah. And we talked about this last week about, maybe there's something there with Jalen, and kind of like Jalen has all these opportunities. There was a press conference where Jalen was asked, hey, in this position, are you going to have talks with Sirianni? And what did he say? He said like something like that. He kind of gave a vague answer.
Moments.
Yeah, we have our moments. Yeah, there you go, Clayton. And it's those opportunities where it's like, man, like go up to bat for him. It's this whole it just seems like this team is not having each other's back. And then you got Darius Slay running off to Micah Parsons' podcast, kind of throwing Chauncey under the bus.
Yeah.
Is Slay washed? Like he's
I'm
given
over Slay, dude. That might be a hot take. I'm over him, to be honest.
he's given up 129.7 passer rating, but still decided to talk about how great he was on Twitter. And
Of course.
out of 74 corners, he ranks 67th that have been targeted at least 8 times. So it's like, is he washed? I don't know. Whatever you guys think. Tired of talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him busting out, posting stats right after you guys just got throttled like that in a game that the defense couldn't stop anything, couldn't make a tackle. An embarrassment. And you're going to come in and post your resume on Twitter afterwards. That's pathetic. Like I'm with you guys, Slay. I don't want you here after this year. Thanks for your service, man. Move on.
I don't.
You're going to go on to, a Rivals podcast. And here's the thing. He could have had Slay on last week after the defense, went out there and did amazing stuff. Micah Parsons knew what he was doing. He had
Oh,
Slay on
yeah.
after they just
Oh,
got
yeah.
embarrassed just to rub it in. And Slay got played. Like, Slay played right into it. And it's pathetic, dude. Like, I'm sorry. I liked Slay, but I'm over him now. Like, I'm 100%. I'm over the bullshit. That C should be ripped off your freaking chest and
Yes.
handed to somebody else that deserves it. Because a captain doesn't do that. A captain doesn't come in after the game and start posting his career stats, flexing, saying, "Yeah, man, I know who I am." A captain doesn't go onto the Rivals podcast and start laughing at one of your teammates when that teammate last week just said, you're the best secondary in the league, called your name out specifically to build you up. Micah Parsons talking trash and you're just laughing. No, you should have said, no, I'm going to stop you right there. That's my man. So be careful what you're saying. Like, just before we move on, be careful where you're going with this, because that's my man. I'm going to stop you before you start. But he didn't do that. He's just chuckling and he wants everybody to like him. No, man. No, a captain's not like that. A leader of men. What was BG doing? BG was on WIP doing cleanup control, doing, damage control, I should say. Talking, what a leader does, not on a Rivals podcast, ripping your teammates. I'm sorry, I'm with you guys. I hate to go,
love
hardcore
it.
on Slay like
Love
that,
it.
but dude,
Yeah.
that went
Hey.
right through me.
Well, he was talking about how he only gave up 1 touchdown. Like he should have given up that second touchdown if the receiver just caught the ball. He was like, he got burnt so bad on that slant, and it was a great throw by Baker, and the wide receiver just dropped it. So he should have gave up 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? It's like, my God.
And didn't he celebrate afterwards with the old incomplete? It's like, dude,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
you were out of
Yeah,
position. You were
Yeah.
out of position beat, and you're acting like you just made a play. Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, I agree.
Doing the strapped in, the DB strap in, or whatever. Do that where it's like the ball's overthrown by 20 yards. Do the strap in. But to circle back at that inspired rant, to answer your question, John, has he lost the team? I don't know. If you're a lead, if you're the guy, you're the coach, your players respect you to not do that. Maybe Sirianni says, "Hey guys, like let's settle down off the appearances and let's figure this out. If we're winning, we'll have fun. If we're not, we're not having fun." I don't know. I gotta say, I think he might have lost it a little bit if he ever had it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I think it's time to move on. You just have somebody there that's not doing, I think, anything for the team. Like, we don't need you to be a cheerleader. We need you to lead this team. We need you to get these, like, it was said completely for me when they said it was a player-led team. That's all I really needed to hear. And I was like, this is a disaster. So,
Well,
I'm
did you
ready
hear
to move
after
on.
the last game, they let BG talk, which I'm all for, but like, come on, step in and talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got to
Yeah.
take control, man.
Yeah, after that Atlanta loss, Sirianni didn't address the team. Which, if he's going to come in and say the exact same thing, Jalen and BG said, that's fine. But still, man, like, I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me. And honestly, I mean, if you're QB1 and your head coach can't get along, what message does that send to the rest of the team? Like, if QB1's kind of like, yeah, whatever with this guy, that's going to trickle down. People are going to feed off of that.
Well,
So if he's lost that, really, if QB1 and the head coach are disconnected, and that's not fixable, then one of them has to go. We can't. It's not going to work. One
Yeah,
of them has to
100%.
go.
And Hurts can't stand him. You can see that. But even look like
No.
last game where they won, where you see Sirianni run over and try to talk to Jalen Carter. Now I get it. He's in the moment and he's hyped, but he ain't listening to Nick. Nick's screaming his name, Jalen, Jalen, Jalen. He don't give a shit what Nick has to say. He ain't gonna tell him nothing.
Yeah, it's like he cared more about Big Dom, what Big Dom had to say.
Yeah,
Big
exactly.
came over to rein him in. That's when he started listening. Nick was like chasing him around. He was just like, "Dude, get out of here! Like, shut up.
Yeah. That's
Who are
that's
you?"
when I knew like they don't even respect his opinion. That's the very moment that I knew it.
Yeah, you bring up Big Dom, and I had this thought, and I don't know, this might be a long-winded thought that is not doesn't mean anything, but I was almost thinking like Sirianni, yeah, he almost seems to not have the respect, and then I thought about that moment with Carter, and I thought about this with Slay. What was it last year, the year before, where Slay almost goes to the Ravens, and Big Dom calls him, and sure, I mean maybe Big Dom's doing a service for Howie, and they're trying to get through to him. But I'm almost thinking like how much pool does a guy like Dom have, and why does he have the pool? Are we just like are we an organization that just like random people just have like is Big Dom deciding that Slay is staying because he wants him here? The quote was, Big Dom said, "I want you here." Where it's like, why are you deciding what players are staying and going? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
I
I
have
don't know.
no idea. I don't know nothing about Dom. So
Yeah,
I'm just
it's a good
that-
question.
I
yeah.
I
don't know.
mean, like, is Dom on the sideline? Like, cause like it was a big deal when they lost Dom on the sideline last year. I mean, that coincided with the collapse. Is Dom like the enforcer on the side? Because it seems to me Nick just wants to be their friend. He doesn't want to make anybody mad. He just wants to be their friend. And I'm kind of sick of that type of coach. Doug was the same way. And to speak on that, you asked me if this team feels like 2023. No, this team does not feel like 2023. This team feels like 2020 to me. This feels like the end of the Doug and Carson era. That's
Yeah.
what it feels like right now to me. Like, and that's even worse than the 2023 because I mean, you know how that ended. Like
Oh yeah.
one of your guys are gone, maybe both. And honestly, the way Hurts has been, he could be gone too. I mean, he's not safe. I think he
I
should be on a
agree.
hot seat. Just as hot a seat as Doug
The
right
other
now.
thing that the other thing to think about is like we know Jeff Lurie doesn't get rid of coaches in the middle of the season, but are
Mhm.
you going to let the talent waste and have
That's
another
right.
historic collapse? Like I mean, our next couple games we got what the Browns, the Jaguars, a bunch of teams that haven't really been winning. So I mean, you go in there and lose those games, you have to make a coaching change.
You give Kellen Moore the keys, say, "Hey, this offense is all yours. There's no babysitter, there's no one getting in your way. Let's see what you got." I mean, not saying Kellen Moore's that guy, but he's here. He's been here through training
Mhm.
camp. Do you try?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's Kellen Moore after this last game from what I
Well,
saw.
Well,
yeah, that was
yeah.
a rough game. I expected more, but either way, you give Kellen Moore the keys, you get rid of Doug, and you say, if you don't want Kellen to be the guy, you got Vic Fangio. The guy's a 30-year vet as a coach. He has head coaching experience. You have him here too. He could be the interim coach.
I
Shouldn't go
don't know.
that way.
I don't know if he's the guy either after that
Yeah, I don't
last
know.
game.
Yeah.
It's just that outside of bringing somebody in, like whoever it is, it's going to be one of those two.
Well,
For
the thing
just for the rest of this year, if it happens mid-year, because they're not going to go out and get Belichick mid-season, midstream, and be like, "Hey, man, come in and try to fix this."
well,
Like
not
it's
only
just going to
that,
be
like if it's Belichick, he's a hard ass. You know what I mean? Does this player-led team even respond to a guy like that? Maybe maybe Belichick gets the respect, but they're not going to like what he has to say because he's straight hard nose.
that's what we need. I'm done with these player
I
coaches,
agree.
man. Doug was a player. Like, did Chip Kelly traumatize uh, Jeff and Howie so bad that they can't bring in another authoritarian coach? Like it's got to be all player coaches, that bow down to the players, bow down to management. Well, Doug didn't at the end. He stood up and got fired. But either way, his cupcake practices, like both of these guys, cupcake practices. This is the softest team or sophist era, I should say, of Eagles football I've seen in a long time, man. And I'm sick and tired of it. It starts with the coach. We need to get a hard nosed coach in here. Somebody that's not going to coddle these guys, not going to baby them. You don't like it? Too fucking bad. Get out. You don't like
Yeah.
it. You
Oh,
know how
yeah.
much you're making? It doesn't matter what you think. You're getting paid. You're getting paid to do a job, and I'm going to make sure you do that job at
Yeah.
the highest level. And if you don't want to do that job and that's too hard for you, all these soft little babies, get the hell out. I'm okay tanking for a couple years just to get the culture truly turned around here and get back to hard nose. Because I'm done with this soft stuff, dude. I'm done with the cupcake practices. I'm done sitting our guys in preseason. I don't care about the injuries anymore, man. I want them to be ready to play football. You have a team right now that hasn't scored a single point in the first quarter, and it's not just
Ooh,
this
yeah.
year. It
Yep.
goes back to last year. That is on your head coach. That's Doug stuff. That's the end of the Doug era. Our team was never ready to play, slow starts, lackadaisical, mental mistakes. I'm done with it. I am sick of it. And when
Yeah.
you put a product on the field that you seen Sunday that there was absolutely no effort, that's where I draw the line, man. You lost me. I will never, ever, ever tolerate lack of effort from my team. I don't care if you are the most untalented crew out there. As long as you go out there and give me effort, I don't care if you get blown out. As long as they were playing hard on Sunday, if that score would have been 33-16, I would have been okay with it if that would have been their best effort. But that was not even close, and I can't tolerate it. And that starts with Doug, that ends with Doug. Or I'm sorry, Nick.
Yeah. Well, the thing.
Ever.
Go ahead.
No, I was just he was saying, "Oh, ever, ever, ever."
Dude, no, that game made me mad, and I had to rewatch it again, and it just pissed me off even more. It's like,
Well,
dude, this hurts rewatching. Like, I almost didn't do it.
this
Yeah.
this is where we're at. This is where we're at. We're at 12 straight games without finishing in the positive turnover takeaway.
That's
Second
pathetic.
second longest streak in franchise history. Minus 15 in those 12 games. First time ever -1 or worse in turnover margin in 4 games. The Eagles, though, with Nick, are 22-1 with 22 straight wins under Sirianni when we win the takeaway battle. And 9 straight games with a turnover is their longest since 2016, which was 10 games. So one more game with a turnover, we're going to end up be breaking that record. And then we're 31st in the NFL in giveaway takeaway at -6, worst in 4 games since 1977. That's where we're at
Jeez.
as a team.
Man, and I'll tell you what, I don't know if anybody's seen this meme that's been floating around. It has Carson Wentz. It has Jalen Hurts and it has Patrick Mahomes, and it's
Yeah,
showing their stats.
I
Oh,
saw
yes.
it.
Yeah, I saw that.
This
Yeah.
year. It's like, dude, that's fine and dandy if it was just for 4 games. But Jalen Hurts has been doing this for a year. Like,
2
there's
years.
no there's no comparison, man. Like, he has been turning the ball over at an incredible rate. He has the most turnovers in the league since
Yeah.
what? Last year?
Yeah, 27 most in NFL.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, dude.
After a
That's unacceptable.
fantastic 22.
Yeah.
In 22 he had 8 turnovers.
Yeah. It's almost like those two things are connected. You don't turn the ball over, you might win some games.
That's weird. It's a weird thought.
It's weird concept. Let's talk about Hurts. Let's get into it.
On Hurts?
Let's get into it. I mean,
It's for that. Go ahead,
he's done. I think, in my opinion, and that might be a hot take, but I don't know. You watch the highlights of, like, I guess we can call it vintage Hurts now. He looks quicker. He's able to get the ball out. He's making decisions. I said last episode, this was kind of a measuring stick, in my opinion. I know he was down receivers and I know he was missing guys, but I mean, you just saw what Bowles was able to just toy with him like a cat, and he wasn't able to do anything with it. I think, I mean, you ask if we're moving on from one or the other. I mean, I think it might be time to move on from both.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely getting there. I think at the top though, you got to have a coach that'll progress Hurts, if that makes sense. But I know what you're saying. In the game, he looks like he doesn't even really care. He's like out of sorts. He's missing throws out of bounds by 5 yards. First play of the game, he has Barkley wide open. He throws it 5 yards out of bounds. Could have thrown it 5 yards the other way in direction inbounds, and nobody was even around him to make the play. I mean,
Exactly.
it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown if he makes the throw.
If you're gonna miss that, there's nobody. Like, don't miss it out of bounds. Miss it to where he could run under it. Like, that's Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, that was ridiculous. That play.
I mean,
and
that
that was just how
completely-
the day started. I was like, oh, this is gonna be. And then that Bond tips the ball in their running back catches it and gets 4
Yeah.
yards. I'm like, oh,
Oh.
it's gonna be this today. Dallas
Well, it's
Goedert
like-
drops a pass. It's like, wow, man, right in his hands.
that completely changes the momentum. And then he throws a nice throw to Goddard and he drops it. That's a momentum changer too.
Mhm.
But as far as first 3 drives, he's 1 for 7.
Mm.
So again, he has 7 turnovers on the year, 3 turnovers in the red zone. He fumbles twice. One gets picked up by Fred Johnson. So I mean, that's almost another turnover. And then he almost throws a pick 6.
Yeah, yeah. And then,
So-
he had the one. Is that the same one you're talking about where it hit the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. That should have been an interception for sure.
Yeah.
Look at that fumble that he had where you get strip sack. All right, Barkley picks the guy up, the free rusher coming through the line, rides him past Hurts. Hurts sees this. So what?
Yep.
He thinks this dude just fell off the map? Like he's dead? No, bro, he's coming back. Like you have to step. This is my thing with Hurts, man. This guy dips out of clean pockets constantly, and he'll just stay in these trash pockets and try to maneuver. It's like you are doing the opposite of what you should do almost every time, man. Come on.
Well,
I
it's
can't-
funny, when David strip sacks that. I watched that play a bunch of times just to see. Like he's about to unload into the end zone, but the guy he's unloading to is covered, for the most part. So that might even be a red zone pick. You know
I
what I
think that
mean?
was Calcaterra, and I think there was a moment where I think Hurst could have got him the ball. He was kind of streaking in the middle of the field, and
Yeah.
it looked like he could have gotten him, but
It's a deep throw though, and the guy's only maybe 5 yards behind him. And you know how Hurts lofts him up sometimes. I don't know. I'm just
oh no, I'm not talking about when
Semantics.
Hurst went to throw the ball. That would have been a horrible throw. But if Hurts steps in and kind of like goes around the pocket a little bit, I don't know. I don't know. I just think a different player might be able to make that play. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody
maybe
who's
so, but-
with timing and anticipation. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it takes.
I agree. So
Man, okay, all right. So yeah, I don't know. Man, okay. Well, we're kind of we're getting it all out. We're getting it all out.
Yeah.
Tackling, defense.
oh my god.
Letting Baker Mayfield get the ball out. Well, Baker Mayfield's getting it out in like what 1.97 seconds, which that's on the back 7, and that's not on the defensive end, correct?
Well, this is the thing. I think this goes down to Vic Fangio, and it's like and his inability to change there. Like, for instance, on scheme. Okay, so we're dropping in soft coverage, right? Our front four is not getting there, and he's just 3-step dropping or getting the ball out early. Do you not run press coverage then? You know what I mean? To try to disrupt some of these throws, like
Right.
the soft coverage we just got picked apart in, and then like a lot of the big throws were in zone. You know what I mean? We were doing a little bit better in man, if you ask me, but I think a lot of that comes with Vic Fangio's scheme.
Yeah, and that's what that scheme is, really. It's designed to keep everything in front of you and not get beat down the field, which they didn't. Everything that Baker was doing was short. He was masterful out there. They came out with a game plan that was beautiful, and we did not counter it. I don't know that we have the guys to press, but I would have brought our guys in more. The biggest problem with this was they were hitting dudes short, and that would have been fine if we could tackle, but they knew we weren't tackling. We had 18 missed tackles? That's ungodly. And here's another little tidbit: 18 missed tackles for an additional 100 yards. So we missed 18 times and gave them 100 yards off of those missed tackles.
Oh.
That's a football field, dude. You're
Also,
not going to win a game.
At one point, he had Nolan Smith on coverage against.
Oh, I saw that.
Godwin. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
okay,
in the
is this
slot,
the guy
yeah.
you guys want as an interim head coach? He's got Nolan Smith, who's a complete bust on fucking Chris Godwin. Good God.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when I see. And it's not like he was lined up,
He
was lined up out in the slot, head up on him. I'm like, wow, okay. He actually had okay coverage. Like he stayed with him.
I
I was
know, but like,
okay.
what are we talking about here?
Yeah, no, that was not great. And like I said, his scheme would have been a little bit better had we been able to tackle and actually stop these guys for these short gainers instead of them, catching it and getting, instead of like 3-4 yards, they're getting 5, 6, 7, sometimes 13, just breaking through guys.
Yeah.
I think you got to bring press coverage. I really do. If they're just going to step back, a couple steps back and launch it, you know what I mean? You got to try to disrupt it. At least try it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Why not try it? But again, I don't know that Q or Slay can play press and not get throttled, not get ran right around. I mean, Mike Evans is a big dude, so trying to press him, man, he's probably just going to throw Slay off.
Well,
Right.
Slay making business decisions out there, you know how he does.
Cleon was mostly on Evans, and he had 4 targets, 2 catches, only allowed 19 yards, 1 pass breakup. Played every single snap, all 77.
Q
Yeah,
is out
Q's
there for
good.
every snap.
And
Q's a dog, man.
as far as the defense, our defense overall ranked now is 29th in the league in total defense. We're giving up 365.8 yards, 28th in pass defense, 237 yards, and we're tied 25th in points allowed with 24. And then riddle me this one. Like, there was like what, like maybe 20 seconds left. We call a timeout, or no, it was 17 seconds left. We call a timeout to get the ball back before the half, and almost muff another punt.
Yep.
It's like these guys who are dying. We got Tristan McCullum puking behind the bench. You know what I mean? It's like you want to try to get the ball back with 17 seconds. What are you going to do? You think you're going to run a bunt back? Like, I guess there's a chance, but it's the slightest chance. Get some fucking IVs and get some water.
Yeah, just get
Give 'em a
the hell into
break.
that. Yeah, just get into the locker room at that point. You know, these guys. I tell you what, the defense was dead after the first
Oh
quarter.
my God.
And this midway through the second quarter, they were truly like you had people just dropping out. Like
And
Reed Blankenship just dropped out at one point.
yeah.
Yes, illness.
Well, it was heat related illness, but
Yeah.
our D line obviously has pretty much no rotation once we get past the starters. I mean, it's pretty bad. They were gassed.
Yeah.
Should have had that pickle juice, man.
Oh
The
yeah,
pickle juice game.
that's right.
Is that supposed to hydrate you? I mean, I know, like, what is it about? Is it the salt?
It does
Yeah.
help. It does help with cramps and hydration.
Yeah, it's the salt.
Yeah, they won't do they won't do that that old school stuff now. Now it's all about analytics, whatever.
Yeah, which failed them because you should have been hydrating, like you said, you should have been hydrating for this last week.
Yeah,
As soon
that's
as your
on.
game ended, you knew what and that's just it. These guys know what the weather is going to be. This isn't something that the day of. Oh, I wonder what the weather. No, man, they're looking at this stuff.
Well, yeah, a hurricane just came through. There's water everywhere. You know it's humid. It's already humid in Florida. Yeah, that's on Sirianni again.
Again,
So
that's on the CEO head coach. That's one of your main jobs, my man. Like you have to have this team. You don't do anything else. You have to have this team ready to play
well, yeah,
week in and week out. I don't care. There are no excuses for Sirianni. If this team comes out and starts slow, which it has every single game this year, if this team comes out and looks like it's lacking effort, which it has in 2 games, in my opinion, yeah, I mean, that's on him. Obviously, the Atlanta game wasn't nearly as bad as the Tampa game, but that's again, it's on Nick, dude. And I hate to keep circling back to Nick, but like
yeah.
I'm on this guy this week. Like I'm glad that this is a bye week because
Well,
I don't even want to watch this team next week at this point. Like I need a break just to get
well,
my mental health back.
while we're back on Nick for just 1 second, in
Uh,
60 games under
yeah.
Sirianni, Eagles have 3 sacks by the DBs in 60 games.
Good God.
So-
Here's a Sirianni thing that irritated me after the game because they're doing the press conference and somebody asks him about the identity and like the identity of the team and you see Sirianni like start to he's like start to do that like the stutter thing. Okay, for somebody, what you're supposed to bring to the table, what you're here for is your connectivity, and you were hired for your emotional intelligence. That's your job. In preseason training camp, you're supposed to be building that identity. If you're not doing anything else, shouldn't he be able to have shouldn't he be able to give us a breakdown? He should have a folder on what this team's identity is at this point. That's all he's focused on. That's what he's here for, and he can't even answer what it is. There's no identity. It's cutting your teammates in the back, going on your rival's podcast. I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
you hit it. He should have an idea, a roadmap, where we're at, where we're going, what it's going to take to get us there. But when you ask him these questions, and I'm sick of competitive advantage, man, just stop with that. Just cut the nonsense. That is the dumbest stuff ever. Your opponent knows, okay? You're not.
Wouldn't IVs leading up be a competitive advantage?
Yeah, like. But I mean, you should know where this team's going, and that's another thing. Like the identity thing. Like they get asked that quite a bit, and nobody has. Not one person on this team has an answer for what the identity of this team is through
Just
4
clueless.
games. They have no idea. That's okay. So that's a listless boat floating around out there. No idea where it's going. No idea who's coming to save us, and that's because of your head coach.
Not
Your
only
head
that,
coach should be
like,
the one that has that vision, and you guys, and it should be conveyed to the team.
was the writing on the wall not the first press conference he ever did?
It was.
Oh
It
man.
was.
I mean, that's all you really needed to see. That was I mean, it's an absolute disaster.
Do you
Yep.
guys remember the flower analogy? Can we go back to those days? Those look
Oh
so
my God.
good.
It's funny, but I'm just laughing because I'm just furious.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah, I
I'm
mean, either laugh or
I'm
cry.
delusional.
Well, yeah, it was a tough week. Anything else you guys had we wanted to get off your chest in terms of
Yeah.
that game?
I have defensive stuff. Dean missed 5 tackles. Blankenship missed 3 before he left the game. Is it time to see? This is for both of you guys. Is it time to see what Devin White can do because he didn't fly to Tampa for personal reasons?
Devin White's not going to make it through the bye week the way he's tweeting.
Yeah, I know. It's Dean's PFFF grade was 41.9, 64th out of 68. I think it's time to see what Devin White can do if we can if we can make it happen.
I had this idea. We need to get Dean like I don't even know, like half an inch extenders in his gloves. You see, he almost
Oh my God.
knocked
Yeah.
down a few balls. He was like probably a quarter of an inch off.
Well, the one TD.
Yeah.
Like if he'd have been in good position, he might have picked it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you do. Yeah, Devin White. I mean, I don't know. It's not a good situation. I don't even know if we had a solid team. You could with like leaders, you could drop him in and he could find his way. But I mean, this is I don't know if you can add that.
Maybe you bring in Van Sumeren, who can play a little fullback. He had 1 rep at fullback there, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. But
Yeah, I don't know what you do. What about you guys think DeJohn Cooper's gonna get the nickel start over Maddox?
Yeah, I hope.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean Maddox, I'm done. That's another guy on this team I'm done with. Like, get him off
Yeah.
the team. I'm done with him.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he played 69 to 77 snaps for 90%, gave up 5 receptions for 59 yards. Missed an absolutely ridiculous missed tackle on Chris Godwin. One that any DB would kill for because you're just going to light this guy up. Reminds me of like the Reggie Bush, Sheldon Brown hit. You know, you could come in there and you could just destroy Chris Godwin.
Oh yeah.
And you just completely miss it with a shoulder. Don't even try to wrap up. It's pathetic. That's pathetic to me.
Yeah, Reed's my boy, Reed Blankenship, but speaking on another DB's wet dream of a hit, Baker Mayfield is strolling into the end zone, standing like a goddamn big bird, and Blankenship comes in and dives at his shoelaces.
He waited on it, dude. He read the zone option and then just waited on him instead of getting vertical. I don't know if you noticed that.
Dude, Baker Mayfield should have been in the blue tent after that.
You see,
I mean, come on. That's the level of effort these guys were giving out there. They didn't care, man. That's a wet dream right there. You see the QB rolling, just strolling like a big bird through the hole, man, wide open. You kill that guy, dude.
well,
You make him pee blood.
not only that, you see BG pick up the running back, and you're literally standing there watching it. You're the guy on coverage then, and like you don't get vertical at all. You sit there and you wait for him to get to you. Yeah,
And then
you're waiting on him.
A sissy ass dive at his freaking shoelaces and you miss. Get out of here, dude. That's
It's effort. It's yeah, like you said, man. If you're out there giving all you have, then it's one thing. But these low effort performances are it's insulting to the fans, to the organization, to everyone. It's a slap in the face.
We had 2 sacks. BG had a really nice sack.
Huff had a career game. Huff.
Well, I was getting there. That was going to be one of my next comments. And then Sweat had a nice sack, and then Huff had his first tackle, which At this point, I'm done talking about Huff. Like, you don't
Yeah,
even deserve
it-
you
yeah.
don't even deserve the breath out of my mouth. Like, that's it. So until he shows me something, other than that, he's a goddamn bum. That's it for him. That's all I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah,
And
we
then
won't be getting Reddick back.
you got freaking
Oh,
Nolan Smith out there playing 31 snaps. You know what I mean? That's how disastrous this is.
Yeah.
that goes back to Howie. But if we want to touch on the Reddick thing here, I wanted to bring that up. The Reddick trade back to the Eagles can officially be put to bed because it's not a legal move. They can't trade him back for at least 2 calendar years.
All right, so we'll
Oh,
get him in
interesting.
2027.
They would have to release him,
Yeah,
and he would have to come to us.
where he wants 50 million a year
Yeah.
in 2027.
So
Yeah.
unfortunately, Reddick is not coming to help unless the Jets just outright release him, and I don't know why they would.
And he's a full-blown ninja at that point.
Oh, 100%.
Samurai sword intact. All right, well let's take a quick break, and I think we got it out. I feel good about it. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we got to look ahead. We're not going to keep doing this week in, week out. So let's look ahead, and
Yeah.
how do we fix this thing? All right, we are back. We are back, and I realized we didn't touch on the offense that much. And by offense, I don't mean Hurts. I mean some Kellen Moore, some system stuff. I know, John, you have some stats lined up, or you want to take this away?
Yeah, appreciate it. So obviously the first 3 drives netted -5 yards. Minus the penalty yards, I think it was -10 or something like that. And my thing is just this: like, are we tired of not running on first down anymore? Like, he's setting us up for failure. Pass on first, run on second. Now we have a long third down. You know, it's 3 and out. It's a recipe for disaster. It's like no wonder we had 3 straight 3 and outs basically. And then like, go ahead.
I mean, especially when your quarterback can't hit these high precision throws, like these high percentage
Yeah.
throws, I should say. I mean, what are we doing? Like, your running back's good. Like, your running back's elite. He's playing at an elite level right now. Your quarterback is not. And, he's missing dudes wide open. He's sailing balls. Like, he was bad. I don't know why they kept going to the pass early in that game. When I agree, they should have just been feeding the rock to Saquon and going from there.
Yeah, well, I'll say this: with 6 minutes left in the second quarter is when Barkley got his 3rd carry. So I mean, that just tells you, and he only had 10 for the entire game. That just
Yeah,
tells you like we're not running at all. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I just mean like, hey, you got to get him the ball early.
Yeah,
mean,
it's crazy.
And
Go ahead, Glenn. No,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say the way the game was flowing, I don't want to hear that, man. Even down 21-0, and I know we only ran 9 plays. Again, run the ball on first down. Why are we so adverse to this? I do not understand the thinking behind it. Like, I get you're trying to do what the other guy thinks you won't do, but come on, man. Stop being cute. Run the football. You have a backup tackle in there. It's hot. Why don't we run their defense down? Like their game plan was to do to ours, which they executed perfectly. Why
Yeah.
weren't we thinking something similar like that? And once you've seen Hertz was like rattled to start the game, stop throwing it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it shows you too. Like, put the ball. Barkley's basically all we got at this point right now, at least for the last game. You know, it's got to ride on his shoulders. Not only that, but like in the last, I know Kellen Moore's only got 4 games, but in the last 6 games, we have 0 first quarter points, and the last person to score a touchdown for the Eagles in the first quarter was Julio Jones.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
timeless Julio.
Yeah, and then like we had 12 targets to wide receivers in the entire game, which led to 7 catches for 34 yards. Obviously, the 1 touchdown to Paris Campbell. I mean, we're not even throwing to wide receivers.
Let me touch on that because that
Go ahead.
was something that I wanted to bring up. I was hoping and I was optimistic last week that being down his top two guys was going to force Jalen to play inside the system, force
Right.
Jalen to go outside his comfort zone and start throwing the ball to people that he's not used to throwing the ball to. No. And it showed. I mean, the offense looked like it. He threw to his tight ends, which he trusts, threw it to his running back, occasionally threw it to a wide receiver. It should have been the opposite, man. You should have been targeting your wide receivers. Like I didn't watch the all 22, so I can't tell you if dudes were truly open, but I was seeing guys open early again, and he wasn't hitting them. He was holding the ball, and I don't know, maybe Todd Bowles just has a hold on his mentality. Like when they play, like Jalen Hurts' mind is just fried because that's what it
Which
looks like every time we go down there or every time they come here.
which isn't good, but I had this thought and I agree. Like I was like, you know how you have that team where it's like, oh man, we always got to get through that. Like for a while, it was like, the Saints, or like every time we matched up against them in the playoffs, it was bad news. I was like,
Mhm.
oh my God, is our team, is our kryptonite the Baker Mayfield led Bucks? Like, is this the guy that's like standing in between, like, you know what I mean? It's
It's
insane.
Feels
crazy.
like it. It feels like it. It feels like Tampa has our number for the last what 5 years. They and the Jalen Hurts era. I think they're 1-4 now, and two of those being embarrassing playoff losses where they ended our season. Like these
Yeah.
guys, Todd Bowles has Jalen's
Yeah.
number.
Not only that, you're going to throw all these times. Like, is there ever going to be like a 3-step drop and just unload the ball? You know what I mean? You're leaving the ball for him to hold it. It's like, can we? Obviously, he's 1 for 7 on the first 3 drives. Can we get a couple slants or something easy for him to get in rhythm and then continue on? But it's just not there. It's like,
But would he take it if it was? That's what I'm
I
starting
mean,
to
I
wonder
guess,
now.
yeah,
I'm starting
that's
to wonder.
that's what I got to watch more than not, I guess. And then, and you're running this 12, 13 personnel with all these tight ends out there, and you're still not running the ball with tight ends out there helping to block. And the only other thing is like Barkley's averaging 8.4 yards per carry in the game, and you still will not give him the ball.
Yeah. There's a stat. Let's see here. I don't know if you had this. We were talking about like the wide receivers not being targeted. I think it was like second quarter, like about 13 minutes to
Yeah.
go, and no targets to wide receivers.
Yes.
It's like,
That's pathetic.
That's pathetic. That's the best word for it. Pathetic.
yeah.
Time of possession in the game is 10 minutes to 21 minutes. Just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, and again, like I can't blame the defense for being gassed. At one point when I think they were going up 21-0, they had run 33 offensive plays to our 10. It's like, dude, your defense is out there the entire first and almost the entire second quarter in this heat, just getting ran up and dog walked up and down the field.
Yeah. Which makes you think maybe run the ball and give him some time to,
Exactly,
you
that's
know,
just it. At the very least, run the
and th-
ball, bleed some clock, or they were like snapping the ball with time on the play clock, dude. If my offense isn't doing anything, I'm telling these guys I don't want the ball snapped until it's under 5 seconds on the play clock. If you guys are only going to give me 3 freaking plays, you're going to give me every second. You're going to give my defense every second of rest they can until they have to come back out and pick your guys' ass up because
this is
that's ridiculous.
this is one I have for both of you. We're down on like the one, maybe in between the 1.5, I guess we'd say. This is the first touchdown series that we get. We throw the ball to Paris Campbell on 4th down,
Yeah.
but it's I'm sorry, it's second and on the 1.5. Do you not think we just tush it twice? But they give it to Barkley. I understand giving it to Barkley and trying to let him score, but like now all of a sudden Barkley gets stopped twice, which the push tush hardly ever gets stopped. I guess it's been stopped twice this year, but other than that, the percentage is very good on that. Like, do you not just tush it and not go to the 4th down? I think that's the smart play. Even tush 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when we got down inside that, I was like, okay, here we go. I would shove it 3 straight times. And then they handed it to Saquon. I was like, okay, it's Saquon. I can't really complain. And then they did it again. I was like, oh my God. Okay, now we're in trouble.
Yeah, and I thought, here we go. It's either a turnover, or it's going to be something catastrophic.
Yeah, just shove, and the shove was working for us on
Yeah.
Sunday. So shove it. I know that they have Vita Vea up there, and that's a big man to have, you know. But it worked. It worked every time we did it, I think, on Sunday. I'm
Yeah.
almost positive.
I got this one for
Yeah.
you two. Paris Campbell seems to have the trust of Hurts, especially over the middle. Do you think that they put Paris Campbell in as the slot number 3 receiver over Dotson, who's like not getting any looks?
100% agree. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, if Hurts isn't going to throw Dotson the ball, then what's he doing out there? Like,
Exactly.
I mean, it's a wasted spot on the field. And don't get me wrong, I still think Dotson has a role in this offense. I'm bewildered that on Sunday he got 2 targets for what, 11 yards or something like that?
Well, the one sailed 10 yards and out of bounds.
Yeah.
Open.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, and he was open a few times, and bad throw, missed, like, Kurtz just didn't see him, and then when you did get it to him, it was like, "Oh, come on, man, like, he's not gonna do much with this."
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
know.
mean, moving forward, if you're not gonna throw the ball to Dotson, but you will throw it to Paris Campbell, then get Paris Campbell on the 53.
100%. Yeah, I agree. Here's a stat that I just I pulled up. This is from Brandon Lee Gouton, BLG,
Mm.
from I think, where's he? Bleeding Green, whatever. But
Yep.
so we're talking about slow starts. This is what the Eagles' opening drives have looked like this season. Week 1, 3 plays, -5 yards, results in an interception. Week 2, 4 plays, 19 yards, punt. Week 3, 3 plays, -9 yards, punt. Week 4, 3 plays, 2 yards, punt. I mean, aren't those supposed to be scripted?
Yep, and well, listen, that's your script. That's what your head coach and your offensive coordinator are working on. So that has Nick's fingerprints all over it. Again, to start the
Right.
game, that's Nick's fingerprints. Now, once you're in the game and the game's flowing, Nick's fingerprints are on there, but not as bad because they talk about what they want to do. They have plays laid out. But the first possession, that shit is usually scripted, and that's a lot on Nick on that. I'm not letting Kellen off the hook either, but that has a lot to do with Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally
gotta
agree.
swim fast.
How many runs are on there? It's probably like 2 or 3 runs, maybe even 4, because it's 4 games. But I mean, I want to be a run heavy team. Run the ball.
Why not?
Yeah,
Have
You know
the
how
offensive
you
line
open that
to do
passing,
it.
it's a miracle when you open up that passing game by running the ball.
Yeah, then it opens up this thing that's, man, it's I don't know
Action,
if we can ever see it here again because we don't do it. Play action. Play
screens.
action deep. Yeah, oh my god, screens I've given up on ever seeing a anything than a wide receiver bubble screen or a tight end screen. Anything going to the running backs, that's dead. We'll never see that again here.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, it's come on. What are we doing?
Yeah. Go ahead, Alex.
No, I was gonna say, so Kellen Moore, keys to the car.
Yeah, I don't know now after this past week.
No,
I
I
know
know.
we were praising him the week before, but
Yeah,
starting to look a little scary.
Well, I don't know if you
on
have
that
this.
one.
I don't know if you have this one down, John. Do you have like anything on like the motions, like the motion stats?
No, I don't. Go ahead.
I think. What did I see? This is saw this on Twitter. This is via Victor Williams from the Philly Pod. He we're 19. We're 19 in the league in all motion, and I think we were like. I don't know what we were before the snap, but so he's a motion guy, and we're coming in at 19, 22%.
But are we connecting on those
21%.
motions too? It's like that's a whole. I guess that's a whole.
Yeah, snap motion, we're at 22.4. Overall motion, we're at about 44.9. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Too shabby there.
And it helps. It really helps Jalen. Like you can tell. I mean, obviously not in this last game.
Well,
And again, that goes to Bowles. I mean, I just think Bowles has his number. But the prior 3 games, he was handling the blitz one of the best of the league. He was up there. So that pre-snap motion was definitely helping him to, understand what the defense was doing pre-snap.
Exactly.
I mean, post-snap, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Well, they've done a lot of good job. Like the defenses that they're playing have done, especially the Saints. When I watched that, like they did a great job disguising a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
that was a very exotic defense. That was a fun defense to watch. Some of the stuff they were doing, some of those creative blitzes they were bringing, man, that's reminded me of Jim Johnson. Reminded me of early 2000s.
Yeah.
Well,
Anything else on the offensive front?
anything positive?
Yeah, let's
We have
get to
anything-
that. So
we have
we,
anything freaking positive?
yeah, we're not let's not
Well,
doom and
gotta
gloom this. So we got to
Well,
right
yeah,
this ship.
well, this is the thing. You got to talk about this stuff. You know
Yeah,
what
you-
I mean? Because
I know.
like,
Well,
it's
I know.
not like I want to be negative. You know what I mean? Like, I need to. These are
Well,
the things
team-
I'm watching.
When the team doesn't give you anything positive,
Yeah.
that's like
Well, yeah, you got to get the venom out, and then once you get the venom out of the wound, then you can start to heal. But you got to come in here spitting venom, especially when
Yeah.
it's deserved. And I mean, a performance like that was one of the worst performances I've seen an Eagles team play in a very long time. I mean, and this is the fourth game of the season. Like usually you see this shit once they quit on their coach, near the end of the season. This looked like a team that quit before the
Yeah.
before the kickoff. This team quit.
Here's
team
a
quit last year.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
it's looking
That
like
is
it.
true. Here's a positive note. Isaiah Rogers comes out and blocks a field goal that goes back for 2 points. However,
I
he
like
almost blocked a second one. If
Hmm.
you're paying attention, he was close
Yeah,
to blocking it.
Yeah.
he should have had that. He was really close to that one.
That was the first time in Eagles history that one was ever returned.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ever returned back for points.
Ringo just chugging along.
I think we need to
Oh.
find a way to get Isaiah Rogers on the field. I really do.
Cut Slay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do? Like, is there a world in which Slay is not starting at cornerback without injury?
Man. I'd hate to say yes, but like it's getting kind of old at this point. I don't know if Isaiah Rogers is good enough to go against a one every single time. I mean, obviously Slay's not traveling anymore, but I'm not opposed to it at this point. I'm definitely not
He-
opposed to it.
Yeah, he cut me deep with those antics. After you get blown out, just shut up. Don't go on
Better.
social media. Don't go on the opponent's podcast and talk about it. Just shut up. I don't want to see or hear from you until you're out on the field again. What, in Cleveland, or are we at home? Either way, I don't want to see or hear from you until that game, and I want you to come out and dominate. That's how you show me. Like I'm sorry, man. As a captain to do that. He lost me, man. So I don't care if Slay's here or not anymore. I don't care
Yeah.
if the cornerback play dips a little bit. Bringing Isaiah Rogers in. I'm done with him, man.
Yeah, I mean the whole like this annoyed me too. I mean, obviously we can talk about let's not talk about the Kelseys, but like even during the collapse last year, it's like Kelsey leaves and runs to his pot. It's like every week we have to see it. Why does everybody need to? You don't need to be set up immediately after football. Like you have enough money to
Mhm.
not have to be doing media while you're playing. Like now everybody like Micah, Slay. I mean, you got everyone needs a podcast. It's like it should be a team rule. Okay, if we're winning, whatever, go on your friend's podcast. But if we're losing, I don't want you there. I don't want you doing anything but football in this facility. I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take.
Yeah, I
Oh.
kind of agree. Like, you should be studying if you're losing. You know what I mean? And at the same rate for Slay, it's like with the Maddox thing, it's like I'm ready for Cooper DeJean to be the guy. I don't even care if he gets burned all the time and learns, and gets better in December. You know what I'm saying? Just get these guys out of there.
Yeah, 100%. Maddox, goodbye. Off the team. Cooper
Yeah.
DeJean, you are in. This is baptism by fire. You may get your back blown out for a few weeks. I don't care. I'm done with Maddox. This is the only way Coop's going to learn. He's going to learn by doing it. Now, as long as he's in football shape, that's the only thing I'll say because he did miss a lot of time. So as long as he's in football shape, get him out on the field. After the bye week here, if Maddox is still starting in the corner, dude, Vic, like, what are you doing? Like now my eyes on you, Vic. Like you're starting to lose me.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, Vic is
agree.
being very suspect, in my opinion.
Well,
That's
defense that plays like that is gotta be suspect. I mean, that was a horrible defensive performance. Horrible scheme, horrible tackling. Vic, bad day.
All right. Let's say this though, guys. We're 2-2.
Right.
You
Should
know,
be 3-1.
sure. But we're 2-2. We're going into an early bye. All right, look, we're probably gonna get AJB back. He's posting on social media some Joker clip. It's very inspiring. He's ready to go. I think we're gonna get our guys back. If they would have told you, preseason that we're gonna be without them, AJB, we're gonna be going to a red hot New Orleans team. We're gonna be going back to the Bucks, and we're 2-2. I mean, I would take it. What about you guys?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, I think the situation's different. If you have those guys there, but again, like we're only doing the IVs the day before, and we're just dying. Like we were like it's a whole total disaster from the gate. So I do agree though. You have AJ Brown, you have Lane Johnson, you have Devontae Smith. That's a whole different game for sure.
It's a whole different start to the season, to be honest with you. If you have AJ every game, Smitty doesn't go down, Lane doesn't go down. We're full strength to start the season here. Who's to say we're not 4-0?
Right. And then you
Right.
hit Barkley on that first play. I mean, that changes the whole game, I think.
Oh, the momentum completely
Yeah.
shifts. Maybe your team does come back. Maybe your team does find that effort, that heart. But it's like your offense comes out 3 and out 3 straight times. Your defense is getting dinked and dunked down the field, dog walk down the field. I mean, it's blistering heat. It was a rough day, man. It was a rough day to be out there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, honestly, it could be worse. Think if you're looking back and you're thinking, damn, we could be 4-0. We also be 0-4. But if you would have told me at the
Yeah.
beginning of the season that we weren't going to have AJ for 3 of the first 4 games, we weren't going to have Smitty and AJ for a game and Lane for a game, all in that same game, and we're 2-2, I think I would have taken that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's think of
Better-
like I think John, you mentioned it. We come off the bye, and then there are some games that are very winnable against
Mhm.
teams that aren't doing so hot. I mean, I think we can turn this around. I think we can find ourselves. I think we can find ourselves. 6-2. Dare I say?
Sure. We
Yeah.
do got the Commanders in there who are looking very, very good. But other than that, I
yeah,
think it's
that's a
Jaguars, Browns, and then there was another
Yeah,
team that wasn't so
so
hot.
just to give you a rundown of the upcoming opponents here, we got the Browns and Eagles, October 13th, 1 o'clock game. Then we go up to the Giants, October 20th for a 1 o'clock. And then we go out to the Bengals. That's a 4:25 game on the 27th. And then the Jaguars come to town. It looks like a Sunday night game, 8:20, or that might be a Monday night game. So those 4 games right there are all winnable. I'm not going to sit here in 2020 mode and say we're rolling these fools, but these are
Right.
winnable games. Like if everybody's healthy, we should win. Or yeah,
Compete.
what
We
we
should-
should
we
win.
should be there.
At least compete.
Yeah. Now the games after that, that's when it starts to get a little sketchy. The next set of 4. So we're going down at Cowboys, November 10th. That's a 4:25 game. The Commanders come to town the next day, or the next game. It looks like a Thursday night game. And then we have to go out to LA for the Rams, and then we go down to Baltimore for the Ravens. So after that, this next 4, it gets tougher. So you really gotta at least go 3-1 at the worst in this upcoming 4, in my
Well,
opinion.
we got to find that identity that nobody can find.
That's just
These
it. And
next 4 games.
I don't know that I don't know that we will. Maybe we will. I don't know. I mean, you ask anybody on the team, they have no clue.
We should pass around like pieces of paper and have them
Yeah, put them in a hat.
write it down.
What do you think the identity of the 24 Eagles is?
That should be one of those like how they do like the social media videos with the little microphone.
Yep.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to be optimistic, and I think that's like that has to be the mindset. That it just has to be.
Here's a question, Alex, and I'm kind of getting off football here for a
All
second.
right, let's do it. Yeah, it's
'Cause I
enough
know
of this.
you're-
Enough of this football.
Well, it's a 2-part question. Okay,
Let's
so what are we doing food wise on the bye week? And then what are we thinking for the Browns game?
Man, so admittedly, I gotta apologize to the audience. I did drop the ball a little bit on my food journey, but that's okay. We knew that was going to happen, and if you didn't know, now you know. All right,
For the
and
week, you're just starving, just not going to eat anything, just
hear me
straight
out.
fasting.
Yeah, I fast until we play football again.
2 hour fast.
Outside the NovaCare facility with a sign, run the ball on first down.
Yeah.
I think bye week. I think what we'll probably do, and that, you raised a good question because I haven't even thought about that. I think we'll probably do something Philly wise, maybe a cheesesteak, get some ribeye because the Phillies are going to be on Saturday and
There we
Sunday.
go.
Yes, sir.
So I think I will indulge in possibly a cheesesteak, and then for Browns, I'm not sure. That was one of the big question marks going into the season. Was what is Cleveland known for?
Get
I
that
guess,
chili.
yeah, they do have the chili, but what do they have? Like the chili hot dogs? Because I know the Cincinnati's known for their skyline
Oh,
chili,
spaghetti
which
chili.
right,
I
yeah.
was gonna say it's like ketchup and tomato mixed with some ground meat.
So yeah, I have 2 weeks to think about it. I got 2 weeks to get that figured out, but I'm not sure what Cleveland is known for. So,
I think
so
at this point it's just a 2 week fast.
it's
It's a 2 week.
man, yeah, I don't know. And then let's look ahead here a little bit. We got Giants, we can make like a pizza, we'll do something, I don't know. Bengals, we got the Skyline Chili. Jaguars, I'm not sure. Jacksonville, I don't know. Cowboys will fast. Yeah. Commanders, I have no idea. Washington,
Sewage.
DC sewage, broken.
Yeah.
Speak. I was gonna say
You're just
broken
being
stands.
broken bottle.
What if going back? What if Jalen Hurts gets seriously injured when that fan fell on him and we're out of the contract? What are we looking like right now?
I think it's Tanner McKee season.
No, I mean I meant back in like what was it like 22 or whatever?
I know. I was just
Yeah,
throwing it out there.
that's a good question. Who do we even have back then? I mean, was it Gardner? Would we be riding with Uncle Rico?
Uncle Rico, I take it right now. Take it.
Yeah.
I wanted Baker. I think I texted you, John. I was
Yeah, you
like,
did.
man, I like that Baker guy. He's fiery. He would have done nothing here, though. We bring him in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of it. I think it's coaching related at this point. Maybe even front office related. So
Speaking of front office here, I got a little hot take
Here we go. Ooh.
with a Howie move. So like, we've been discussing Howie in the past here, and maybe he's not, as great as the fan base portrays him to be. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Either way. But I will tell you this. I have a move that Howie would make that would force me to quit on him. If Howie,
Ooh.
and this is a move that Howie might pursue. I could see him doing some dumb shit like this. Goes out and gets Bryce Young from the Panthers.
Are you kidding me?
If he
He would
does
do that?
I'm just saying that's something I could see him trying it. Saying, hey, you know what? The situation wasn't good down there. We're a quarterback factory. Bring him on up.
Oh God.
I would be done. That would be I quit on Howie move.
Man, I would have to. I mean, I could see if Hertz was panning out to be that guy, I could see maybe like trying to pick Young up cheap and like flipping him, or something like that. But I think the move now would be to bring him in to start
To play,
potentially.
yeah, to play.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'd be done.
Okay.
I'd be done.
you know how much they gave up for him though? I mean, so much. They traded DJ Moore, 2 first-round picks. I think it was 2 seconds.
Oh, that's gross.
And they could have had Stroud.
That raises a point though. I mean, you're seeing guys like Geno Smith, Andy Dalton, Sam Darnold. I mean, these guys that like it's such a win now league. They kind of get like pushed out of where they're drafted and they find some success. I mean, with this team and this talent, do we dare try to find a guy that has talent that's been in the league to plug into this highly explosive sports car of an offense and see if we can win? I mean, are we a piece away or are we like pieces away is my question.
Or are we a
Ooh.
coach away?
Right. Like would a coach
I think a little bit of everything. I mean, I think our DNs are just not doing it. Obviously, they were gassed, and defense is getting picked apart. You know, we got linebackers missing, or well, a linebacker missing a highlight reel of tackles. You know, again, maybe it gets fixed up with a coach. I think maybe it starts there. I think we start there.
Yeah, and this is it's like an all phases sort of loss because you got to think everyone is responsible for what's happening. It's not just the coach. It's Howie. It's even Laurie for he's the one evaluating coach hires.
Yeah.
He
I
brought
mean,
in
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, that's it. Like everyone's accountable.
That's just it. This loss, I mean, you nailed it right on the head. From top to bottom, every single person in the franchise is accountable. Um, I mean, just no effort. You know, uh, Howie's choice for roster building here, and I get the Huff thing. Like, I get it. It was a risk. I personally, I didn't see it. He thought he could, bring him in. He thought Vic could, work him. But from top to bottom, that loss Sunday is on every single. You mean you nailed it? It was on every single person, every aspect, from top to bottom. You know, owner, head coach, GM, coordinators, players. Just disgusting.
Yeah. Let me ask this to you guys. Moving forward, what are things that we need to do to start winning some games? Like what are the keys to getting back on track and I guess getting some sort of identity, dare I
Well,
say.
I'll say this. Let's run the ball on first down. Let's run the ball on second down. And then like if we 3 and out from there, sure, whatever. But the pass on first, incomplete. The run on second, obviously they stack the box on second down. You can almost like it's been the same way for the last couple of years. It's always pass on first, run on second. And then you got the long third whatever for first. It's like that is a recipe for failure, in my opinion. And not only that, like uh I we need to score points in the first quarter. Let's go out there and let's just score a touchdown or 3 in the first quarter. That's what I need.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Scoring in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have teams, beat by the first. Remember 22, man? We used to beat
Oh
teams in the
yeah.
first half and then just come out and run all over their faces, play, keep away. But I'm with you, man. You you have to get some kind of rhythm going early. And the best way to do that is to run the football. Get your offense, get those linemen, moving down the field, getting positive yards, getting your confidence. If you are going to throw it, just high percentage stuff and make sure that we are coaching and telling Hurts, look, man, you're not holding it past, 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, hit. And if you can't see anybody, then throw that motherfucker out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree
just
with
get
that.
rid of it. Like, you can't hold the ball. That's when we're starting to take, turnovers, we're starting to get negative plays. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it does work. But, you run the risk of a turnover happening the longer that the ball is held. Just get
Oh,
it
for
out to your
sure.
playmakers and get them going. Run the football. I don't care, how you do it, who's doing it. If you want to keep Barkley fresh, that's fine. I'll take Shipley out there. Just keep feeding him the rock because this line run blocks really well. So just, that's your identity right there.
Well, that's how
Don't
you
give
get yourself into a disaster too. Like just what happened. Now all of a sudden in the second half, you have to throw every down because you're down 24 points.
Yeah, because you couldn't establish anything on your
When you
possession,
should
so
have
you're
already
3 and out.
established it. Yeah, when you should have already established it.
Yeah. So you're 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and then your defense is completely gassed for the rest of the game.
And now you're throwing for 60 times because you're down 21.
Yeah, and the opposing defense knows you're throwing it every time. They can pin their ears and they can play coverage. They don't have to worry about the run that much anymore. That's why he ripped that 56-yarder off to begin the second
Yeah.
half there.
Yep.
They were looking for the
Exactly.
pass. They thought we were going to
Yeah.
come out pass happy. Give it to him, and he stings them for 56 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm at the point too with Hurts. Like last season too was like, oh, you got to protect his health and everything. I'm all for it. Hurts, run it. Put your shoulder down. Like we need to get everything we can out of this guy. While we can. I don't mind him giving up his body. To be honest with you. Hot take, maybe.
No, I.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I got to quickly. I got to apologize for any listener out there. Last week we had a soundboard and it didn't pick it up. So if you hear us chuckling to each other and you don't hear why, that's why we had some stuff going on. But
We fixed it.
yeah, we fixed it.
Hopefully.
Anything else, guys?
On one positive note, I think they're going to open up a practice window for Sidney Brown. So we'll see if maybe we can get him back and get a little bit better safety play. Although it's not guaranteed.
Okay.
But he should be coming back relatively soon either way.
Yeah.
If it's not after the bye here, it should be, within a few weeks. So hopefully. Be nice to get him out there flying around.
I got something for all of us I think we want to touch on. I just want to say rest in peace to Pete Rose.
Yeah, rest in peace.
The GOAT of all time.
Yeah.
Also, rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo.
Sheesh. Man.
Yep.
It was a tough day. It was a tough day yesterday for Philly sports.
Yeah, sad.
Man, P Rose is a beast. Gotta respect that.
Yeah, that one hurt me.
He's the king. On another positive note, Phillies have clinched the bye and the NL East and look to make a run in Red October.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Congratulations to them.
Congrats to the Phils.
Yeah.
I'm thinking NLCS Dodgers Phillies, right? It's kind of looking like it.
True.
Not to look ahead, but yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be I'll be looking forward to that. That's the way it plays out.
All right. Well, yeah. So we I feel like this is like a therapy session on weeks like this. It's like gotta get it all out. We are in a bye week, so I don't know about you guys, but I'd be down to do a special Phillies broadcast, Phillies episode, at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it next week. I'm ready.
100%. I'm in.
All right, and then we go. I think we're at home against the Browns. So yeah, we'll definitely have a pod game week leading up to the Browns. So yeah, guys, good stuff. Any last thoughts? Any last words of wisdom?
Thanks for having me and run the damn football.
Run the football.
Thanks for having me, and can only go up from here. Well, you
All
can only
right.
go up from Sunday.
Yeah, you can only go up from Sunday. All right, guys, I'll be starting my 2-week fast outside the NovaCare complex. So you can catch me on Twitter, TikTok. But in all seriousness, if you ever want to send anything into the show, speakingbirds@gmail.com. And thanks for listening, guys. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.